What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to
Uncomplicated podcast.
Uncomplicated Podcast. We are very happy to be back. A lot has happened since our last episode, but we're going to share with you. Lily has a broken knee.
I wouldn't say it's broken. It has been operated.
Momentarily broken.
Yeah.
Or fixed, and now it's,
Yeah.
it was broken.
Yeah. It's fixed and recovering.
Do you mind sharing what happened?
Yeah.
And how it happened?
Yeah. So what happened is I got surgery. Yeah, I got knee surgery because about a little bit over a year ago, I tore my ACL playing soccer, our favorite sport.
Unbelievable.
Um,
That's why you don't play Soccers. That's why you don't play soccer, people.
So yeah, I completely tore it, and then I honestly thought I would be fine just like strength training and getting it stronger, and then like once everything like is strong, I could get back into like doing normal life.
I mean, ultimately, it was fine.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, because for sports wise, like whenever I would go back and play sports, like if I did a quick side movement, it would give out, and so like I would give out, like I would either it would hurt or I would like fall, like couldn't keep going kind of thing. But my normal day to day, like it was super strong.
Yeah.
Like I could walk fine. Like I could do any of my exercises fine. I was just a little bit more aware.
Yeah, you went jogging a few times too.
Yeah, and it didn't give out. It was just, again, it's just that like if I turn quickly, so then I was like, okay, well, I want to be able to play sports, and you said like, well, if you want to play sports, you're gonna have to probably get surgery. So I decided to get surgery, and that's where I'm at. Got surgery almost a little bit over a week ago now.
Yeah. And that was like a year after.
Yeah.
Complete tear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been like, before that, it had been a year of like not playing sports because of my shoulder injury.
Right.
So I'm going on like 3 years of not playing sports. I'm going crazy, but it's okay because long-term wise,
yeah,
the goal is to get back into it.
What's the moral of the story?
You play when you're not competitive. You play that only like 70 to 80% of your game.
Yeah, you don't need to go all out when you're just playing for fun. That's in terms of like trying to preserve your body from injuries. It's not worth it.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah. It's like you can like, yeah.
Whenever Lily gets back to sports, she'll have to learn how to play at a 80% level instead of a 100%.
Yeah. But I've been able to practice a little bit because during the year that I was like technically off, we played Hope volleyball.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't I didn't try to my hardest, which it was okay. But then I went and played hockey not too long after my surgery and my injury, I should say.
Yeah.
And
that
one was more iffy.
Yeah, that was rock and roll
because I had
a little bit.
Yeah, and I snowboarded too twice.
Yeah, we snowboarded. Yeah.
So it was, and again, it's like I wasn't going full out because I couldn't, but at least it was a little bit of practice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not because you can't be competitive doing it 80%. It's just the difference between 80% and 100 is like you may not, let's say in hockey example, you may not go all out for that loose puck. You're gonna just, if you see that the other person has a step on you, you'll immediately play defensively rather than trying to go on the offense and try to get like you'll just kind of make those small changes, but doesn't mean that you won't play hard. It's just you'll be smarter about it, I guess.
Yeah, well, it pretty much that's what happened with my knee injury. Was like
your shoulder the knee.
The ball was gonna get out of play, and it was like right there, and it's like I could have just let it go. Like who cares? Like it wouldn't have been a big. We weren't like in a. So.
Or you try in a safer way.
Yeah, That's what's been happening. Recovering from the surgery.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had your first physio appointment the other day, and
Yeah, he was impressed.
yeah, so that's good. Recovery's going well. Speaking of recovery, the topic of this podcast will be about rest and recovery. And also a little bit on like when to know where you're just, excuse me the term, bitching out,
Yeah.
and when you actually need to take some time off.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about,
Mhm.
because you're in full on mode of knowing when to push and when to just be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I was trying to be positive about was like understanding your body a lot more once you get injured or like you need that rest. And knowing more about your limits too. Understanding your
That's
limits.
exactly where I was going. I was going to say, like, when you get to a point where you reach your limit almost every time, you get to know a lot about your body and a lot about how it responds. And you're like, okay, I push my limit, let's say, for, I don't know, example, 2 weeks in a row.
Mhm.
Like 2 weeks in a row where I really push my limit. And then on this third week, I can't do as much in the gym, let's say.
Yeah.
Or I need a lot more sleep. Or I wake up and I'm just tired and sore all the time.
Mhm.
So those are signs that your body gives you to say like you need to just chill for a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but if you never get there, you don't know what those signs are. So
Yeah, it's tough.
so sometimes it's good to get to that limit, and to recognize those signs, but you don't want to stay there and trying to fight through those signs
Yeah. No.
because they are there for a reason.
Mhm.
So what was it for you? What was the signs?
What?
Like you said you kind of know how to reach your limits, allows you to step back and
For like the surgery
yeah,
specifically? Yeah.
and injury or surgery or like your rehab right now, like when do you know that's like okay, that's might be enough for today.
Well, I'll just use the example of literally that happened like an hour ago
Yeah.
with I went to the gym for the first time. I didn't do since like the surgery. I didn't do any like typical strength training exercise, but my physio said he's like go ahead and bike, like stationary bike. It's not about like don't like increase intensity like you're literally at a level 0 and it's funny cuz I was doing it and then I like realized I'm like the bike's not even turning on. That's how slow I'm
Yeah.
going cuz it
Yeah,
automatically turns
usually
on.
it turns on, yeah.
It was not turning on. So anyways, at a certain point, it's just like I like felt my heart rate go up. I had to take a little bit more breaks. And then I started feeling like my scar, like it was starting to hurt my scar versus like hurting in a way of just like I'm just pushing through that like increasing that
Yeah.
range, pushing through those like muscle tightness
Mhm.
pain. It was more of a like scar pain. I'm like, well, what's the point of pushing something that like I'm trying to like that needs to
Mhm.
heal correctly?
Yeah.
So I feel like that was more of a physical limitation, like
Yeah.
learning about how far I could go, but also a limit you could say was today at one point like I was walking around, I picked up something and like my hamstring just like told like was just hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it not that it felt like it snapped, but it felt like a shock.
Yeah, it was giving you a don't go there.
Yeah, so I sat down and was like, "Can you chill for a minute?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd go with kind of that.
Yeah, and that's an example for like rehabbing an injury in somewhat.
Yeah.
I have an example more like in terms of pushing your limit every time at the gym. So when I was prepping for my bodybuilding show,
Yeah.
it was funny because the goal obviously is to progressively overload and to make sure that you're progressing all the time and that you're pushing your limits so that your muscles grow as much as possible. So we were doing that. I hired a coach at the time. So we were doing that and then one day I walk in for my check-in and I'm walking like I'm an 80-year-old man and my coach looks at me he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just like tired and sore, and it's just like everything is sore. And it's like, what was your last workout? And I was like, I think it was I don't know, it's at the time it was like back and biceps. And he was like, and your legs are sore? And I'm like, yeah, everything's sore. He's like, okay, we need uh we need a little bit of a break. So you're gonna take tomorrow off, and maybe the next day after you're not gonna work out, and you're gonna increase your food on those days.
Yeah.
So, but at the time, I was like all in. I was like, you can't be a little bitch.
No, yeah.
It's like you gotta show, you gotta go in, you gotta do your workouts, or else you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
Um, so I had that attitude, and just having that guidance from a coach to tell you like, yeah, like this is not normal. Like you need to just like take a step back, just recover for a little bit, and then go back on it strong.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that helped me understand quite a bit my own body at the same time. Because instead of being trying to shut it out, just being like, nah, just push through it, push through it. I was more open to it and just more like, you know what, this is my body just telling me to chill.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful in that sense. So it is needed. The no pain no gain approach.
Depends.
It really depends.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like you pushing through that, if you end up taking a break, you would be probably on a decline
Yeah, exactly.
if you continue.
I would have,
You
the
would
muscle,
probably gotten injured too.
yeah, injury risk gets higher. You don't progress as much, and you don't progress anymore in the gym. So that means that you're not building muscle anymore. So, and if the goal is to build muscle, what's the point?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a big wake up call for me. But it was good. It was fun. And now I kind of look for those signs. But I realize that some days it's just because I'm mentally tired, not
Yeah.
physically tired, and I'm just like, okay, just gotta do it.
If we go back to like injuries and
Yeah.
all that, recovering and rest from injuries, it's like, how does somebody know when to push through pain versus not? Like I was lucky, like my surgeon told me, he's like, it's gonna hurt, but you are allowed to push through it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like we have a lot of clients that it's like it's been probably over a year or something that they've gotten anything, or like that they were diagnosed with an injury and they're just like, oh no, it hurts, I can't push through it. It's just like, can you though? Like, because it's been a year. Or like,
Here's the thing though. We gotta start by understanding what pain is,
yeah,
right?
yes.
What is pain?
Pain is an output.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can think of it a little bit like as an emotion. Pain is an emotion a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the same as like anxiety, anger, like it's something that your brain creates. Yeah, to protect you, to stop you from doing that, stop you from doing something that can or potentially will cause harm.
Yeah.
And the big word here is potentially.
Yeah.
So we have to realize that sometimes pain is there even though there's no chance of actual damage. So that's the tricky part. And that's why people freak out because let's say example you tore your ACL.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you tore it in a way where I don't know, I'll use your example. You tear it playing soccer. So now every time you're going to play soccer, mentally your body's going to be like we need to protect.
Yeah.
We can't do the same thing. This may happen again.
Yeah.
And as soon as the knee will feel some sort of intense tension in the quads or in the ACL or in kind of movements trying to fight those, it's going to send those pain signals. It's going to be like, if you keep doing this, this is going to happen again.
Yeah.
Now, the other example that was given to me to me was brilliant is like pain is a little bit like a smoke detector alarm.
Okay.
Some people have a more sensitive smoke detector.
Mhm.
You know how some smoke detectors is like you burn toast and it goes off all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like nothing's happening. It's
Yeah.
just toast or burnt. But for some reason it senses that
Mhm.
there's danger, so it sends those pain signals.
Yeah.
Now the idea is to desensitize this smoke detector so that it'll take more and more and more and more and more for it to send that pain signal or to go off and sound
Yeah.
the alarm.
Yeah.
So that's the goal with recovery is yes, some parts of it will be painful. You know.
Mhm.
And but pain is necessary in order to push those pain thresholds to new normals. If you never go beyond those pain thresholds, those original pain thresholds, your body's going to sound the alarm at nothing.
Yeah.
And that's no way to live, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you got to endure in order to get better.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah. It makes a lot of sense, the whole
Yeah.
smoke detector thing, too. But I think it's more just that aspect of, like, we'll use your elbow example. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm dealing with that with my mom a little bit. It's not the same. I don't think it's the same thing, though.
No.
But it's more like you were doing what, if you benched,
Yeah.
like, a certain weight, it would hurt.
Yeah.
So you stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And you switched other exercise, did it differently towards when it didn't hurt. So it's like, when do people know to, like, not push through it? It's kind of that, like, and I'm just
Well,
saying that, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
again, it's like a learning. Like, for me, it's probably today and tomorrow I'll be paying attention, like, how is my knee feeling? Is it feeling worse than it was?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also, is it
exactly.
preventing me from doing all the exercises I'm still supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
um
Well, there's a difference between a pain you know you can push through and,
yeah.
and a pain where it's like you can't do it because of the pain.
Yeah.
Like there's a big difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between feeling like a little bit like because me when I was bench pressing, like I had to find a weight and a position where I would only feel a small amount of pain compared to the big amount of pain that I felt
Mhm.
while doing the actual exercise where it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like if I would have kept on I could probably have just done the same exercise, bring the weight all the way down and then build it back up.
Yeah.
Very likely could have done that, but I was trying to find a way where I could push a little bit more weight still while feeling less pain.
Yeah.
So that's why I did what I did. But yeah, I mean, like it's the old saying of if you do something and it hurts, stop doing it.
Yeah.
At least for a while.
Yeah.
I think that would be my biggest tip is if it hurts, stop doing it for a while, lower the intensity, and then slowly rebuild it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But there's no direct or right way to do things with pain when dealing with pain. You have so many different approaches and all of them most likely work.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on your goals, what you want to achieve, like
Yeah.
how much of, like, I need to, for me, my knee, it's like I gotta figure out a way to get back to work efficiently.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
if I'm allowed to push through that pain, I'm gonna push through. But if, like, the surgeon was like, if you push through the pain, you're not gonna be able to walk. You're gonna have to come back and do the surgery again. Then it's just like, okay.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, but again, there's also like if you do something and your knee gives out
Yeah.
with pain,
Yeah.
like you're not going to keep doing that.
No.
But if you're doing something and you just feel like like oh this doesn't feel good. This feels yucky. This feels Like, then it's like, okay, but you can push through that.
Yeah.
So there's that difference between like, yeah, I can push through this pain, and this is like, I need to stop right now.
Mhm.
The only problem with that is me and you have a much higher tolerance for pain
Mhm.
in terms of like working through it because we know
Yeah.
than the average person who comes sees us. Like our pain tolerance is much higher in terms of like what we know we can push through
Yeah.
than our regular client.
Yeah.
Some clients, they just feel a muscle contract and they're like, "Oh, I can't do this exercise."
Yeah.
It's like, well, like that's just your muscle contracting.
Yeah.
Like this is good. This is normal.
Yeah.
Like we're asking it to work, it's working.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that's the big difference,
Yeah.
I think also. Again, it's because I think we have a better understanding of what pain is and what we know that pain doesn't necessarily mean that we are re-injuring it. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's fair.
is just part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people feel pain and they have no injury.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? Some people have injuries and they feel no pain.
Yeah.
How do
Well,
you explain
it's
that?
like I had no ACL.
Yeah,
Well, it's not necessarily the same
but it
thing,
is
but like,
similar.
yeah. Yeah, because I feel like if somebody stopped strength training after their ACLs tore, like their knee would just start
Yeah,
hurting because you're affecting other
yeah.
areas. Um,
But I think if it was partially torn,
then there'd be pain.
yes,
Yeah.
because then your body's like,
You gotta fix this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't want to push it to the point where
Yeah.
it's fully torn. So it's, yeah. Same thing with like a broken bone. There's definitely damage on a broken bone. Why is it that when you have your cast on, there's no pain? There's damage,
Mhm.
but there's no pain.
Mhm.
Why? So that's the thing. Like,
It's funny because mine, when it was completely broken, like I was still like didn't get the surgery yet.
yeah,
The only time it hurt is when I would try and move it,
oh,
because
of
of
course,
course.
yeah,
But the moment like I had it in a comfortable
yeah,
position, like it's broken, like
yeah,
in half, like,
yeah,
and there was no pain.
no pain.
So it's interesting.
So yeah,
Like,
but that's just something that's especially in the fitness industry, it's slowly, and the rehab industry is slowly becoming more and more true. Is there doesn't need to be any damage or tissue damage
yeah,
for pain to
yeah,
happen, and I think we're understanding that a lot more, which helps some people.
yeah,
Because some people, when they have pain, they just look for an answer, right? It's just like,
yeah,
why?
yeah.
So they go, like, example, it's not just because it's a chiro, but like, let's say somebody has back pain. They're like,
Mm,
oh, I have back pain. I don't know why. Da, da, da. I'm going to go see a chiro. The chiro is going to find something
yeah.
because nobody's perfect.
No.
So he's
Yeah.
going to find something and he's going to attribute that pain to that thing.
Mhm.
And now you're going to think that you're in pain because of that thing,
Yeah.
while other people are living with that thing without pain.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is it really that thing that causes you pain, or is it just that you have pain
Yeah.
and that thing is there?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So whenever you're in pain, think about it.
Yeah, honestly, one of the best ways to deal with that pain is understanding that pain doesn't necessarily mean that you're hurt.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of mention this. It's not about really rest and well, it is actually, but something that I'm realizing. We were focusing a lot on strength. Like I was, like this whole year was just getting my legs stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted them bigger also, but just like getting them strong.
They got bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the ACL injury, and then I wanted to go like snowboarding and all that, so I knew I had to gain strength in it. So right before the surgery too, I was like focusing on like, okay, let's start building like 2-3 weeks before surgery. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it made, you never know. And I think that has a lot to do. Like if ever you're going into surgery, or you're gonna get a surgery, or I don't know, like anything. Like even if you have like people say you have weak knees or bad back, like I feel like because I got stronger, I focus on my knee strength. Recovery can be a little bit quicker.
Oh, definitely.
Because again, like I'm able to contract my quad, and my physio said like a lot of people can't, and it's like, is it due to me working out? Maybe, maybe not. I'm thinking yes. Um, but it's also, life is a little bit easier, even
Hmm.
though I can't like use this knee really that much. Like being able
Yeah,
to hold
because
myself up
yeah,
with one leg, to sit down with one leg, come back up with one leg,
yeah, like dude,
and hold myself up with my upper body too,
yeah,
like push myself up. Like today on the bike, it's like I can't really put any weight on that one. I can, but I'm still a little nervous. So to get up on something, I use my upper body, and it's
yeah,
like if I didn't work on strength for upper body, like that would be freaking hard. Like I couldn't imagine.
yeah, and yeah, that's a great example of like why strength training is super important. It's for those times where yeah, you just sometimes if you don't have a leg that's working, you need to sit down with one leg.
Mhm.
And like if you don't have strong legs, that's not possible.
Mm-mm. No.
So what do? You just stay sitting down the whole time.
Yeah.
You move less, and that won't aid in recovery. Because you realized it, like some days it feels crappy,
Mhm.
and then you start moving it, and it's like, okay, feels a little bit better now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like movement is therapy.
yeah. Like I said, the moment I woke up from the surgery,
Yeah,
I started
you
moving my
started,
foot,
yeah,
and like, cause I was, of course, in pain, so I started moving my foot, and it felt better.
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
usually when you
yeah,
that would make sense,
yeah.
but
And a lot of people would be afraid
yeah,
to move things because they're
yeah,
like I don't want to re-injure it.
yeah. No, exactly.
So yeah, I
So
mean I do like what your surgeon told you, where it's like, look, there's no chance of re-injuring it. Put some weight on it. Start doing things. Start moving it.
yeah, like
Like that was perfect.
yeah, he's like only forward and back, like
Yeah, yeah, no
sagittal plane
twisty.
stuff. Yeah, forward and back. No, like, cause I'm like, can I go up the stairs? Cause like we live in an apartment building. That's I have to go up the stairs and down. He's like, is that forward and back? I'm like, yes. He's like, then okay, you can do it. And I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah,
which got me very excited because I was just like, for the first time, I'm hearing like it's like move it right away.
yeah, yeah.
Like
No, that was great.
he just said not to move it the day of because like I'm probably sore and tired.
Yeah,
But he's like, you can if you want,
yeah, yeah,
which is so that was the surgeon. I'm like, good.
yeah. No, that was great. Yeah. When I heard that too, I was like, yes, that's good advice.
So strength train.
Yeah,
Because it
super
just
important.
injury, it helps with
I
everything.
mean, it help. So nothing really helps with injury prevention because you never know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But strength training is like as close as you can get to injury prevention.
Yeah, because you're just
You're just making
strengthening your bones, your muscles,
yeah,
your
you're just making everything stronger.
and
Every
and your body moves better typically.
yeah,
And it's like, for because I'm just thinking of like what's the most common like injury, and it's usually some people falling.
yeah, as they get older, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I find that like it just, when you fall and you don't know, like you can't move well, like
Yeah,
you stick out your arm, you just, but like if you move well and you're falling, I don't know, you can a lot of times catch yourself,
yeah,
but like sometimes you absorb things
yeah.
better.
Yeah, because things are stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, there's so much research now, I should say, on like longevity and strength training
Mhm.
is bonkers.
Yeah.
And very happy to see that because now there's more and more of the older people that are
Mhm.
getting into strength training when back then it wasn't a common thing.
No.
It was like nobody was a gym bro back then, except like if you wanted to be this bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But training for longevity, that's new and it's super exciting.
It's nice to hear whenever I have like this client. I think she's in her 60s, I want to say. Uh, and she never really strength trained before. She only like ran. And
Which is great,
yes, yes. But
but
then
there's a missing piece.
yeah, because
Yeah.
she like broke bones a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like and she's like my daughter's forcing me to come, so I'm just gonna come. She trained with another trainer. She loved it. And then she came over to me, and like when she talks to me about it, she's like, this is amazing. This is like everybody should be doing this. Like I should have been doing this like years and years ago. Like I feel so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like she's huffing and puffing the whole time. Like, so anyways.
It's pushing your body's limits a little bit. Again, it's that threshold, just allowing it to be stronger under progressively heavier loads and have your body adapt to those loads.
Yeah.
Prepares your body for lots of different things.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the no pain, no gain thing,
Yeah.
and we talk about soreness, post-workout soreness,
Yeah.
or in other words, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Is it necessary?
No.
It is not necessary. Is it a kind of cool byproduct of working out?
Cool?
Fun? Satisfying?
Depends who you're talking to.
Sure, I think it is. And I think a lot of people think it is. They like to feel that little soreness the next day or day after because they feel like they actually did something.
Yeah, it makes them, yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you need that in order to have a good workout? Absolutely not. Are your workouts still good? And are you going to still progress with those workouts even though you're not sore? Yes. So, should you chase soreness from your workouts? So, like, if you're doing your workouts now and you're like, you know what? I'm not sore after my workouts. I need to do more. Is that a good strategy? It depends. It usually takes a muscle, I think it's 72 hours. Yeah, I think so. I think it's 72 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. For a muscle to fully recover from a workout. So, that being said, you shouldn't train the same muscle intensely within the same 72-hour period. You following me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. So what should be the rest and recovery protocol is essentially that. Do a workout whether you're sore or not. Don't work out the same muscle group 72 hours later.
But how do you
No, I like it. Ask away.
how do you know you worked out hard enough? Like if you've never like again, it's understand like learning your limit of what was
Yeah.
too much. But yeah, sometimes I'll do a workout and then it's a new workout, let's say, and then I don't feel sore the next day. Then I'm just like, okay, if to me it's a new workout, like my body's not used to it, like, or new exercises, I should say. Like, why isn't it not? Is it because I didn't push enough, or is it just because my body's starting to get used to like my muscles being sore, like broken down?
Yeah, I mean the best way to see it is, are you still progressing?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're doing the same weights you've been doing for 6 months and you're not sore, then yeah, that's not a good thing.
No, yeah.
And again, it depends on your goal. If you're just looking to train because you want to be healthy, why do you need to be sore?
Yeah.
As long as you're slowly progressing through your exercises, making things a little bit harder every time, it's all you really need.
Yeah.
If you're working out to maximize muscle gain or strength gain and you're not sore, then I'd say you need to do more.
Yeah. But
Not because you want to chase soreness, but it's just you need to stimulate that muscle enough for it to need to grow to adapt to the forces or the challenges you put on it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I hear
It's
different.
tough.
Yeah, well, because this muscle soreness is, I think, is a very big thing that like different fitness people are talking about and have different opinions. Like, because I know there's one guy that I just recently listened to, and he was saying like when you're feeling muscle soreness, like you push too hard, like you went too hard.
Like in theory,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I guess yeah, it depends on your goals. Like,
Yeah.
um,
But it like that's the thing. If you push hard enough to get that muscle soreness, you need to be doing the right things when it comes to sleep,
mm-hmm.
nutrition, supplementation, um, like stress management. You need to make sure all of those things are checked also.
Yeah,
Like you can't always push for muscle soreness if you're sleeping 4 hours a night.
yeah, no,
So like it's that's the thing.
yeah,
It's like if you're going to go to that limit, which is yes, technically, it's because you've done too much.
yeah,
You need to have your recovery protocol on point
yeah,
in order to recover properly from that soreness.
yeah. It's funny you bring that up because I had a client before that really was always talking about like he wanted to recover faster. Like he was playing a sport and he wanted to recover faster. He's like I never recover faster like fast enough. And then it's like you look at his kind of day-to-day life and it's like yeah, no shit. You don't
Yeah,
recover fast because you don't get enough sleep. You don't
yeah,
eat enough. You don't like and it's just and
yeah,
it's like you're gonna be sore or you're not gonna be able to maybe you won't feel as strong or as quick as you want to because it's like you're not your body is in no mode or isn't capable of
yeah,
because if you're in pain your body's focusing on that or if you're in,
yeah.
like because technically muscle you're when you say you're destroying your muscle or
I
breaking
wouldn't say
destroying
I wouldn't say destroying.
no
I mean, it technically it's like micro tears,
yeah yeah so like
but like,
and it needs time to repair so your
yeah,
body's kind of focusing on that. I find that that's why when people overtrain,
yeah,
like you hear that often, like athletes will overtrain and it's like they get sick, they
yeah,
get injured. It's like because their body can't put any
yeah,
energy towards those other systems that
yeah.
keep them.
And that's all. That's a sign,
Yeah,
definitely. If you get sick more often, like if you're constantly tired, if you're like yeah, if you're sore more often than not,
yeah,
it's usually signs that you're overdoing it. If you find yourself sleeping 12 hours one day, like maybe it's a sign that you need to slow down a little bit
yeah,
because your body was like, yo, I need to sleep for 12 hours to give myself a chance to keep going here.
yeah.
So, yeah.
You're
So,
really good at that.
so sleep, food, and when we say food, it's like the quality and a quantity. If you're constantly in a calorie deficit,
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to recover as well as you would normally.
yeah,
So make sure you're, like you said, eating enough. But it's not enough or more, it's for you and what your body needs.
yeah,
So you need to figure that out. What does it say? Sleep, nutrition, quality and quantity, supplementation.
yeah,
And by that, I just mean like, just make sure your body gets everything you need. Once again, everybody's going to be different depending on what you eat. Stress management.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's sleep nutrition. Yeah.
yeah,
Stress management
yeah,
is the next one. That's the hardest one to control
yeah,
because some things are just out of our control that stresses us out. But as much as possible, I think if you have the sleep and nutrition under control, stress management usually comes
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. Take over your recovery protocol. It's as important as your training protocol. Can't have one or the other. You gotta have them all.
Yeah.
Just like the Pokemons. Gotta catch them all.
Yes.
On that note, we're gonna stop saying stupid things. Did you want to add anything to this recovery rehab podcast?
I
Pain.
don't think so. I think it's just learn your limits in a safe way.
Yep.
When you're in pain, don't just blame it on anything that an injury that was like 5 years ago
Yeah.
necessarily.
Try to understand it. And the other thing with like injuries is tissues take 4 to 12 weeks to heal completely.
Mm-hmm.
So if your injury was 5 years ago, whatever happened, it is now healed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer the injury that's hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
It's those pain signals
Yeah.
that are telling your body, stop doing this or else we're going to get injured again. And those can be true and those can be just crazy alarms.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best way to approach it is slow and steady.
Yeah.
Take it back, start slow,
Yeah.
add movements that'll challenge that pain,
Yeah.
and then slowly just make it harder and heavier and harder and heavier and harder and heavier.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah.
If you go too fast,
Yeah.
you'll trigger those pains again. And then you'll think that you messed it up again.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I was with a client and they have like a knee thing going on where it's very sensitive right now, and we've been doing leg extensions and we've been slowly building it up. So we went from, like, let's say example, like from 80 pounds to 85 to 90 to 95 to within a span, like every week we go up 5 pounds,
Yeah.
and it's been feeling great. Like there's no pain, there's no aftermath effects. Like when he goes home, there's no pain in the knees. And then I saw this person again, and they were like, "Yeah, I worked out on my own the other day, and I did 100, let's say 50 pounds on leg extensions, and then my knees were extremely sore the next day." And I was like, "Yeah, because you jumped by 50 pounds." Like, yeah, your body was like, what the hell are you doing? What is
Yeah.
this? So I'm like, that's why we're going nice and steady, so to give your knees a chance to get used to these new stimulus.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're gonna jump 50 pounds, yeah, your knees are gonna tell you, don't do that.
Yeah.
That was a fun example. I like to play around with pain sometimes.
And you wonder why my clients don't want to train with you.
But it's in a good way.
Yes, I know.
In a way that I'm like, I want them to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand pain a lot more now, so.
Yeah. And there's a lot more to go. I've only scratched the surface.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. And it's so fascinating. If you're in pain and listening to this, I'd say the best thing you can do for your pain is understanding pain.
Where do they do that?
Well, it's hard because there's so many things on the internet. It's hard to kind of find. But I'd go check out what's his name? Well, like I think it's Dr. Joseph Ledoux. He's big. Lane Norton actually had an amazing slide on his Instagram page recently talking about pain.
I think a trick too, if you're going to professionals, I don't know. Now I'm really focused on how health professional talk and say things
Yeah.
because of a certain someone. um, but I don't know if this would be like stupid to ask or not. But you can always probably say like ask them like, does pain mean harm?
Yeah,
Like, because
that's so tough. Because you go to them because you're in pain, so they're gonna find a reason why you're in pain, or else they didn't do their job. So they're gonna find something. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're in pain because I don't know, like tendonitis. It's like, cool. Like, what is that? What is tendonitis? Like, it's essentially just inflammation. Just do what you would do with anything that's inflamed. You would just relax a little bit on using it, and then you'd slowly kind of reintroduce things to it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But you're in pain and they want to help you. Like I don't think they mean they're
No, I
I
don't.
don't think they're doing this in a bad.
No, I would never.
Yeah.
I would never. Yeah, that's fair point to say. It's
Yeah.
like I would never. I never think that because like you would if you would have asked me a year ago, a year and a half ago, like does pain equal harm? I would have been like probably
Yeah.
like you know, and
Yeah.
it's not because it's just because I don't necessarily I've never learned that aspect.
Yeah.
So, but it's more about I don't know, like I find when like somebody will give me a straight up like, "Oh, it's cuz you have this."
Yeah.
I'm just like, "But how do you know I have that? You can't look under my skin." Like it doesn't make sense like
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's more kind of that like I'm saying this cuz this is something that I've recently started doing and learning, and it's just like when somebody has too much of a direct answer
Yeah,
to like something
definitely.
that's not necessarily a direct
Direct, yeah.
answer, I'm just like, ooh, like I don't
Yeah.
necessarily trust
Yeah.
because I'm like, you're trying to be nice and give me an answer because a lot of people that's all that they want. They're just like, I just want an answer.
Yeah.
Like for you deal with it the past week, then I'm just like my calf is freaking hurting and why? Because I didn't we didn't attack my calf, and you're like, well, you got knee surgery, and I'm like, but like the calf, and you're like, well,
Like it's hurting.
it's like I
Yep.
just want an answer of why the fuck is it?
It's hurting. Yep. It's hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like to say to some of the trainers I work with is when a client comes in with pain, like that's all we know. Especially if they don't have a specific diagnose from a professional. Like all we know is that they're in pain. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, cool, you're in pain. Why are you in pain? I I don't know, but you're in pain, so let's deal with it. Like that's all we know.
Yeah.
Now, if they come in with a diagnosis, then we have a better idea of what specifically is going on, not necessarily saying that it's the cause of the pain, but we know that the pain is there,
Mm-hmm.
like more specifically. Because if somebody says shoulder, it could be lots of things.
Yes.
But if somebody says, I don't know, like infraspinatus stare, then you're like, okay, so it's infraspinatus.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's like more of those things.
Yeah.
You can be a little bit more specific with your approach when you're dealing with that rather
Yeah.
than just being like, yeah, your shoulder hurts. We know it hurts. We'll deal with it.
Try different
Why is
things.
it?
Yeah.
Why does it hurt? I don't know. I don't have x-ray goggles. Could be lots of things.
And it's so funny because I feel like if I would come to you and you would say that to me like way back, I would have been like,
Yeah.
like what are you saying? Like, do you know your shit? Like,
Yeah.
which is so bad. Well, it's not bad, but it's like,
But yeah, like if I train a client who's looking for specific answers,
they have a hard time with you.
they would think that I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because my answer to almost everything is, well, it depends. I'm not sure. It could potentially be this, but we don't really know.
Yeah.
So it would sound to them like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. But it's starting to be a bigger thing because like the other day I was on this I was like scrolling through Instagram, and there's this girl I follow. She's a physio, and she posted a post. She's like, the more I'm getting experience in this industry, in this world, the more I'm realizing that to like I'm gonna butcher this, but like to let like the really experienced people, the people that really know and understand, are the ones that like they don't have a direct answer.
Yeah.
Like I butchered that, but I was just like in my head, I'm like, okay, so like I'm seeing a lot more of like the health
Yeah.
professional, just the ones I'm following, but it's still like getting out there, and it's like she's been in the industry for a while, so it's just like
Yeah.
she's just realizing that, which
Yeah.
is not a bad thing, but it's like,
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just again, we grow up through a school system
yeah, I was gonna say we're going
that
to school.
that tells us we need an answer.
Yeah.
It rarely, how can I say this? encourages broad and vague answers. It's either you have the answer or you don't.
Yeah.
Most classes, most topics.
The important topics are the ones that you have to have direct answers.
Yeah. And I find myself more and more as I move and keep learning through this career, I'm becoming that person of like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have all the answers. But what I can tell you is da 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 da.
Yeah.
At first, same as you, I was the one that's like, all right, somebody comes in with a patellofemoral syndrome.
Oh.
It's like kind of like physios, right? Oh, patellofemoral syndrome, you're gonna do da 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 da.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I was like, I need that. I
Yeah.
need to know. Somebody comes in with that, I do this.
Yeah.
It's like ding ding.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, well, it depends, because it might work for one, but it might not work for the other.
Yeah.
So I'll need to adapt my approach depending on the person. And like I've been having people with knee issues come in, and it's like for one of them, what I did was like game changer. I tried a similar approach with another person. It was like nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, so I had to change my approach a little bit. And the same thing with the third person. It's like yeah, no, that won't work. It's like okay, cool. I'll need to. But the more you know, the more tools you have, the more ways you can change your approach without being confused about it. Being like,
yeah,
well, this is what I'm supposed to do and it's not working. What do I do now?
Yeah. I don't know. The more you say like it depends, could be a lot, the more I find that you start having different ways of helping people, because nothing works the exact same way for everyone. Because like just like for example, my knee surgery right now, it's like I'm dealing with it this way. Doesn't mean that the next person that's my height, my athletics will deal with it the same way.
Yeah.
They might be in pain, or they might be like already walking straight.
Yeah, we're all different. That's why it's so awesome. Yeah, all right, now we're done.
Yeah,
I'm tired of talking.
Die soon.
All right. On that note, see you all in the next one. If you liked this content, make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Follow on Spotify.
Comment if you like it. If you want to talk to us about something,
yeah,
comment. Don't come up to us and talk to us about it.
Yeah, just leave a comment and then tell us what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the comments will take them a long way.
Yeah.
It'll add interactions to it. But we do appreciate when you text us directly.
Yes, of course.
Don't get us wrong. We do appreciate it. I feel very, how can I say this? Like, not blessed, but like grateful. Thank you. I feel very grateful when a friend texts me and was like, hey, I listened to your podcast and da 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 da. I was like, oh shit, okay. For some reason, I don't expect anybody to listen to this. So when people do, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, just comment, like, subscribe, follow. But yeah, if you want to add something, comment. Do it.
Yes.
All right. See you guys in the next one.
Yep.
Bye-bye.